sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. You know, it's not all doom and gloom around the world, around this country. I did go to Reader's Digest. Reader's Digest, you can get it online at readersdigest.com. And they have the 12 of the happiest stories in 2021 from around the country and around the world. From daring rescues to medical breakthroughs, 12 happiest stories. Frances Compass has a few reasons to celebrate on November 11th. The Atwood, Kansas resident reached a milestone, her 100th birthday. She's the youngest of three daughters, her sister Julia and her sister Lucy. They're not dead. They're 104 and 102. She was able to join her sisters in the Century Club. They grew up on a family farm in Beardsley, Kansas, just about 9 miles from Atwood. They're members of Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Atwood. Compass credits good home food on the farm to her and her sister's longevity, says being social and walking a lot has helped a lot too. So a woman turns 100 years old on November 11th and gets to celebrate it with her two sisters who are older than she is at 104 and 102. All of them still living in the Atwood, Kansas area. I know you remember this story from 2016, but the tradition continued. Wanda Dench, she's a Mesa, Arizona grandmother, sent a text to her grandson inviting him to Thanksgiving dinner back in 2016. Only problem was it went to the wrong kid. Jamal Hinton, a teenager at the time and a stranger to Dench, got the message. The mix-up soon became apparent, but Hinton still asked if he could get a plate. Dench said, sure, drop by. Well, thus began the 6-year friendship between the teen and grandmother. Hinton has been invited to join the Dench's celebration each year, and every holiday is commemorated with a family photo. Netflix recently announced it will adapt it to the big screen, making it a movie. That's one of the happiest stories. The tradition continues. In a real-life young Sheldon story, Georgia Tech welcomed students back to class in August. Caleb Anderson, he's a aspiring aerospace engineer. He's the youngest student on campus at 13 years old. He was accepted into Georgia Tech at the age of 12, started the semester as a sophomore after taking classes at Chattahoochee Tech for advanced credit. He described his first day at Georgia Tech as pretty interesting. He got tuition assistance from the Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation. That's Steve Harvey's foundation along with his wife. He's too young to qualify for merit-based scholarships in the state. After graduating, Anderson says he wants to pursue a career at SpaceX, start his own company, and become a role model for other black teens. I want to help others that may just need nurturing and resources, Anderson said. So at 13, he's the youngest student on campus at Georgia Tech, and he's not even a freshman. He's a sophomore. Now, this story, I like this story. One of the happiest stories according to Reader's Digest. From Louisiana, a world record was set in the 100-meter dash at the 2021 Louisiana Senior Games competition. It was held in Ponchatoula. Julia Hurricane Hawkins finished the 100-meter dash in just over 1 minute. Let me say that again. Julia Hurricane Hawkins finished the 100-meter dash in just over 1 minute. Usain Bolt has the record at 9 seconds and change. Fastest women's time is 10 seconds and change. But she did it in just over a minute. Well, Tom, why is that special? She's 105. That's right. It was the second time for the retired teacher, who also broke the record in 2017 in the 100 to 104 age level, running it in just over 39 seconds then. 4 years later, she ran it in just over a minute. She slowed down a little since 2017. But in 2017, at 102, she did it in, at 101, she did it in 39, just a little over 39 seconds. She didn't even begin her sprinting career until she was 100. A once avid bicyclist, her children registered her for running when she quit biking after 8 to 10 years. The older you get, the more passion you ought to have. Keeping active is one of my most important passions, Hawkins told the USA Today, who reported this first, and it was listed in Reader's Digest. Good for her, 105 years old, setting sprint records. This story out of Argentina, a 30-year-old woman in Argentina was deemed a hope patient. Scientists analyzed the woman's blood samples and placenta cell tissues from 2017 to 2020. They reached a conclusion that she's a documented person whose own immune system cured her of HIV. Authors of the peer-reviewed study of the case published in November hope the findings will lead to a long-term cure for the virus, which has affected 38 million people globally. But scientists say that after checking her blood samples and everything, plus she gave birth to an HIV-negative baby in March of 2020. But the woman in Argentina, she's been deemed the hope patient because her immune system cured her of the HIV virus. This story out of California. The heirs of a California couple who built a resort for black vacationers on California's coast in the 1920s can thank legislation signed by Gavin Newsom in September. Bruce's Beach, once owned by Willa and Charles Bruce, was seized by Manhattan Beach city officials in 1924. Earlier this year, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to transfer ownership of the land back to the family. Patricia Bruce said there are many families right now hoping that this will lead to their property being returned to them as well. The heirs of the California couple who built a resort for black vacationers on California's coast in the 1920s now have that land back. High school student Devarius Peters, a senior at Hahnville High in Butte, Louisiana, arrived at his graduation ceremony in May of this year ready to walk across the stage. He was stopped by a school representative who said, "You can't wear those shoes. Those are not approved shoes for graduation." He was confused, so he took the shoes off. She said, "You can't go across barefoot." In stepped John Butler, a teacher at Hahnville High School. He'd come to see his daughter graduate, but when he heard of the problem, he knew his shoe size was the same as the kid that couldn't walk. He lent him his shoes to walk across stage. "It became a no-brainer to me," said Butler, "and no more questions asked. I gave him the shoes on my feet." Peter's grateful family did not learn of the whole story until the post went viral long after graduation was over. Gemma Smith, Peter's mother, said, "I was literally in tears because I didn't know all of this took place and that my son had to go through that." Here's some hope for the world, but not if you're a climate change person. In November, scientists recorded the corals of Australia's Great Barrier Reef fertilized billions of offspring by casting sperm and eggs into the Pacific Ocean, a sign of recovery from years of coral bleaching caused by warm ocean temperatures. 2/3 of the 134,000 square miles of the 2,500 reefs was damaged by bleaching, according to scientists. But a marine scientist with reef teach, Gareth Phillips, said it was gratifying to see the reef giving birth again, coming back to life. It's a strong demonstration that its ecological functions are intact and working in a recovery phase. Yeah, see? The earth is recovering. It's fixing itself. Its immune system is working. The earth's immune system is working. Imagine that. Those are some of the stories from Reader's Digest. We'll come back with more after this timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity, and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666.